Chapter 5. Control Statements. Objective. Introduction. What is control statement? Selection statements. Iteration statements. Introduction. A computer needs some set of instructions in the form of program to work. When a program is executed, the statements run in sequence. But sometimes it is required to alter the sequence of some statements in a program or run some set of statements depending on a given condition. Let us understand it with the help of an example. Suppose you want to go out to play with your friends and your mother puts a condition for it, like, if you finish your homework, you can go out to play, otherwise you will help me in household work. Now the condition is, if you finish your homework. If this is true condition, the result will be, you can go out to play. But if the condition is false, the second statement is executed, that is, you will help me in household work. In this case, the first statement will be skipped, and control will jump to the other block. In the same way, while creating programs in Java, you can add conditions in the programs. For this, there are various control statements that are used. What is control statement? Control statement is used to control the execution sequence of a program, which can be done by adding iterations, conditions, or jumping statements in a program. There are three types of control statements: selection statements, jumping statements, iteration statements. Selection statements. Selection statements, also known as conditional statements, are those statements in which you can add a condition whose output can either be true or false. The statements will be executed depending on the outcome of the condition. It means if the condition is true, the statements in true block will be executed, and if the condition is false, the statements in false block will be executed. It includes the following statements: if statement, if else statement, if else if ladder. Let us learn about these statements in detail. If statement is a selection statement, then firstly, a condition is checked. If a condition is true, the statements in the true block will be executed. But in case a condition is false, the control jumps out of the condition is checked. In if statement, there is no false block, so it does nothing if a condition fails. Illustration 1. Program to check whether a number is positive or not. Illustration 2. Program to check whether a number is less than 100. If else statement. The simple if statement does nothing when a condition is false. If else statement is similar to if statement but with a false block. In this type of statement, firstly, a condition is checked. If a condition is true, then the true block is executed. If the condition is false, then the false block is executed. After executing the true block or false block, the control comes out of this conditional statement. It is also called bidirectional decision-making statement, where Java statement 1 is a true block statement. Java statement 2 is a false block statement. Tech tip: each type of code is assigned its own color, built right in the language's IDE. Illustration 3. Program to check whether a number is even or odd. Illustration 4. Program to find the greater of the two numbers. If else if ladder. If else statement is used in case you have to test multiple conditions in a program. In this case, a first condition is checked. If it is true, the corresponding block statements will be executed and control jumps out of the ladder. If it is false, then the next condition will be checked and so on. Tech tip: subroutines are pieces of code that perform a specific task. A subroutine in small basic starts with the keyword sub and ends with end sub. It can then be called by using the subroutine name followed by round braces. Tech tip: the path taken through the code is sometimes called the flow of the code. Illustration 5. Program to find greater of the two numbers, or both are equal. Switch statement. Switch statement is used to check a variable against list of values cases. The value of the variable can be a character, string or number. Any number of case statements can be added in switch statement. Each case is followed by the value to compare to and a colon. Each variable is compared to the case. If it matches, the corresponding statements will be executed until a break statement is encountered. When a break statement is reached, the control jumps out of the switch statement and executes the statements following the switch statement. There is an optional default case which appears at the end of the switch statement. This case is useful when all of the above cases are not true. There is no need of a break statement in default case. Illustration 6. Program to check the performance feedback. Iteration statements. Iteration statements are the looping statements which are used to repeat the action for a certain time until a specified condition is satisfied. The set of statements within a loop are executed several numbers of times, and the loop stops when it meets the condition and the control jumps out of the loop. In iteration or looping statements, you will create a program in which you know the starting point, you know the output, and you know the condition as well. To get the required output, you just need to create a program to get the required output by applying the condition. There are 3 iteration statements which we will discuss here. For loop, while loop, do while loop. For loop, also known as count-controlled loop, is a control flow statement which is used to execute the set of statements in code block known number of times. In for statement, the number of times a loop is to be executed is known in advance. For loop is divided into 2 portions. In this looping statement, an iterator needs to be initialized to the beginning value first, which is then compared to the final value. The statements in body part are executed repeated number of times, depending on the applied condition. After the loop body is executed, the control goes to the increment/decrement expression. When the condition turns out to be false, the loop terminates and the control comes out of the loop. Tech tip: infinite loop is a loop in which a set of instructions are executed forever and never terminates because there is no exit condition. Illustration 7. Program to display first 10 natural numbers. Illustration 8. Program to display even numbers between 1 to 10. While loop. While statement is a control flow statement in which the set of statements in a code block are repeatedly executed depending on the condition applied in a program. Firstly, a condition is examined. If it is found to be true, the related code block, true block, is executed and control goes back to the condition. It means the statements executes in a loop while the condition is true. If the condition is found to be false, the loop terminates and the control comes out of the loop. Shortcut: press F5 to run a program. Illustration 9. Program to show the use of while loop. Illustration 10. Program to display multiplication of any number. Do while loop. Do while loop, also known as exit control loop, is a control flow statement in which the set of statements in a code block are repeatedly executed depending on the condition applied in a program. But in do while loop, the statements are first executed and then the condition is checked. If the condition is true, the statements are executed repeatedly until tick condition is satisfied. Otherwise, the control comes out of the loop. In this loop, the statements will be executed at least once, even if the condition is false at first time. Illustration 11. Program to display numbers in decreasing order. Illustration 12. Program to find the factorial of a number. A quick review. A computer needs some set of instructions in the form of program to work. Control statement is used to control the execution sequence of a program, which can be done by adding iterations, conditions or jumping statements in a program. In if statement, there is no false block. Selection statements, also known as conditional statements, are those statements in which you can add a condition. If-else statement is similar to if statement but with a false block. Switch statement is used to check a variable against list of values case. Illustration statements are the looping statements which are used to repeat the action for certain times until a specified condition is satisfied. For loop, also known as count-controlled loop, is a control flow statement which is used to execute the set of statements in code block to the known number of times. While statement is a control flow statement in which the set of statements in a code block are repeatedly executed depending on the condition applied in a program.